Hi, welcome back. In this video, we'll be talking about CNNs, also known as convolutional neural networks, a type of neural networks which have proved extremely good at different types of image problems. Let's get started. Have a look at this image. Can you identify what's in the image? Tough, isn't it? Now have a look at this. You can almost immediately recognize that it is a dog. Now interesting thing is that both of the images are the same. The image on the right is a three-dimensional image of a dog, the three dimensions being height, width, and channel, whereas the image on the left is a two-dimensional image with only width and channel and no height. If we ignore the channel dimension for now, we can see that it was very easy for us humans to recognize from their heights and widths, whereas it gets really difficult when the two dimensions of the same image are reshaped into a single dimension. Not only humans but computers do face difficulty in recognizing an image represented as a single dimension. The fully connected neural networks use this one-dimensional representation of image to identify them, whereas CNNs can use 2D or three-dimensional image representations to identify them. But why is that CNNs are so good at identifying images from multi-dimensional representations? And what are the problems that fully connected neural networks face with images? Have a look at these two images. Can you identify the difference between the two images? I guess not. Let's have a look at the original form of these two images. The first one is a normal image of the dog, whereas the second one is a manipulated one, in which we swapped out nose with an eye. Looking at the two-dimensional form or the three-dimensional form makes it really easy to identify abnormalities in the images. But in the one-dimensional form, it is very difficult and almost difficult to figure out these abnormalities. And this is the first problem neural networks suffer from. They lose spatial orientation of the contents in the images. A dog is a dog only when the nose, ears, eyes, etc. are relatively present where they should be. Any changes to the relative positions and the image is no more of a dog. Whereas CNNs, on the other hand, preserve this spatial orientation. We will see how CNN does it in the later videos of this module. The other problem with fully connected neural networks is more on the computational side of things. Look at these two images. The first image is a 32 by 32 by 3 image. So, if we have a hidden layer containing just 1000 neurons, then the number of parameters to learn come about 3 million. The second image, on the other hand, is of size 720 by 960 by 3, and with 1000 neurons in the hidden layer, the number of parameters to learn explode to around 2 billion. 2 billion parameters just for a single hidden layer. This is already a nightmare for many computer systems. But imagine the condition when you might want to get 3 or 4 layers deep with each layer containing about 1000 neurons. This problem in fully connected neural networks is called parameter explosion. And this is where CNN comes in. Dealing with both of these problems is built into the design of CNNs. For spatial orientation problem, CNN takes a 2D or a 3D input and works to create features who do not lose spatial orientation until necessary. And for the second problem, CNN has something called local connectivity instead of full connectivity baked into its design. We'll talk about both of these in the upcoming videos. Right now, let's try to understand how we humans identify objects in an image with the help of an example. This will help us to get a very good intuition of how CNNs work. Let's get started with how we can identify a cat as a cat. So when one looks at a cat image, they might notice a face and a tail. The face further contains particular style of ears, nose, eyes and whiskers. So in total, we have some particular style and shape of ears, nose, eyes, tail and whiskers that can tell us whether an image is of cat or not. But we do not identify eyes and ears directly. These all features are of different shapes, and to identify shapes we generally need to identify edges first. So here is an abstracted summary of how our brain subconsciously works to identify a cat as a cat. We detect some edges, combine those edges to form shapes. We then look at these shapes to figure out features such as if they're a nose, ear or something else. And once we have these features, we combine them spatial dimension and determine if it's a cat or not. And this is very much how CNNs work. CNNs start by combining low-level pixels of images to form edges, such as here. The edges are then combined to form shapes, and shapes are combined to form image features, which are then used to reach to a decision or an output. So far, you must have realized that CNN is just a feature extractor. In the cat example, we extracted features manually, while CNN can do it automatically for us for any arbitrary image. Let's see how. CNN uses two main modules for performing the task of feature extraction. The first module is called the filter, which actually extracts features from images such as detecting edges, circles, etc. This module is responsible for preserving the spatial orientation of images. The second module is called pooling, which is used for dimensionality reduction. This is only part of how CNN deals with large number of parameters. The actual parameter control happens through local connectivity in CNNs, which we'll deal with while studying about filters in the next video. So now that we know CNN is primarily a feature extractor, let's see where does it fit into the entire architecture, which goes from input of images to cat no cat as output. In the CNN architecture, we have an input layer, followed by the CNN part which performs feature extraction, followed by a smaller fully connected neural network which combines the features extracted by CNN to reach an output. So this was a higher level overview of problems with fully connected neural network for image problems and how CNN tackles them. In the next video, we'll focus on the first module of CNN called the filters. Thank you.